going on, dudes and dudettes? So it looks like USC thinks this week, or pretty much at the end of the week now on Sunday as I'm recording this, but they still believe that they can get Julian Lewis to lock in and sign with this commitment, or at least, officially commit to it and not signed yet, because that's not until December. But even before the game he had on Friday night, his first game of the season, they did send out a graphic of him, and he reposted it with like a lot of USC stuff on there, and then even did an interview before the game saying that he is still locked in with USC. I'm pretty sure USC wasn't wanting to hear that. They kind of want to say that he's willing to shut it down and all this stuff, as I've been trying to talk about the past couple of times I mentioned Julian Lewis, but he still didn't say that, but still said he's locked in. He did play pretty well, had a couple touchdowns here and there. It took a while to get going, and then there's some pretty bad weather down there in Georgia. But yeah, luckily he got through it. His team ended up winning, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe because he didn't officially lock it down, even though he said that and said he's done being recruited, then maybe they're still going to go after that Centennial quarterback Husan Longstreet. So we'll definitely have to wait and find out, see how that story goes. And it looks like USC and a bunch of the finalists for that 5-star safety Jonah Williams are still battling for his commitment, which sounds pretty good, at least on USC's front, because he kind of assumes they were on the outside looking in. But if they're still in the fight, that's all that matters with his commitment. Date coming up pretty soon. And that 4-star offensive lineman Nick Brooks looks like he is predicted to go to Texas, which sucks because USC was only one of his 3 schools. So yeah, sadly, looks like they're going to lose out on him to there. But there was another 4-star offensive tackle, Malachi Goodman, who looks like he says he is focused on USC and just like a handful of other schools as his commitment date nears too, which was a name that I wasn't really heard about or known about in this recruiting process, in this recruiting class. So I don't know if they just recently got on top of him with his recruitment, or they've been at him for quite a bit. But if he said out of his own mouth that he's still focused on USC, then hopefully that means some good things for them down the future for this guy. And On3 put out a list of the top linebackers and where they're going in the 2025 recruiting class, and USC is up there even with only 2 of those top guys. The other 3 schools of the 4 schools on there have about 3 other players. But USC is looking to add another guy. I know they're still looking at the local guy, Madden Farimu from San Diego. There was a guy, I think his name was Christian Jones, from up there a little bit north, but I think he might be going to Oklahoma. And I'm pretty sure they're in for another couple of other guys as well. But even if they just added another guy on that list, they would definitely be one of the top teams out there. And they already are with only 2 of these guys. So looking forward to seeing who they can add. As far as the linebacker position in the 2025 class, and going to the NFL at preseason, looks like Chuma Adoga, who I talked about him recently, dealing with a foot injury. Looks like he's going to be put on IR, so he's obviously going to miss the next 4 weeks 100%, which leads in to the season, at least the first or second week. So hopefully he will be back by then, and if not, then he has to stay on there a bit longer. So hoping for the best for him. And then Jordan Addison, the ex-USC wide receiver, who's had his own crazy drama this offseason, getting arrested and all that stuff, DUI, but it looks like he was carted off the field this last week during practice, but I guess that was due to precaution. Apparently, he seems like he's going to be fine and okay and ready to go for the season. They're just being over precautious, but that team is going through a bunch of injuries and all this crazy crap right now. So looking like it's at least going in the positive direction for the ex-USC wide receiver. And the Butkus Award watch list came out with their players. I believe that goes to the top linebacker in the nation, and USC's Easton Mascarenas Arnold, the transfer from Oregon State, was on there as well, so that's always good to see. He's definitely been one of the transfers that stepped up and looks like a leader out there, especially on defense, so hoping for some good things from him this season for USC. And that, speaking of that freaks list that the Athletic reporter did the other day, looks like 2 USC guys are on there, wide receiver Zachariah Branch and their offensive lineman Emmanuel Pregnon. is on there as well. Because, yeah, both those guys are pretty freaky for their size. Even Zachariah Branch was small, but he's very fast. Young looks like he's a defensive lineman playing on the offensive line side. So, yeah, some pretty interesting guys there. And then, I believe it was ESPN put out a top 100 college football players. It looks like Zachariah Branch and Miller Moss made that list, but it was pretty interesting that PFF has been doing their top 50 list of college football players, and they put Jonah Monheim, the USC offensive lineman, at like number 33, but none of those guys made the list for the top 50, which you can understand because they could make the back 50 for the top 100, but Jonah Monheim, his name didn't pop up on that graphic for USC, talking about the players on the ESPN 100 list, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully everything gets straightened out. And House of Victory has been pretty slow on their signings, but they re-signed Lake McCree, the tight end on the football side. He's returning to their House of Victory, so that's pretty cool for him. CBS Sports put out a top 10 list of the top quarterback backups in college football, and USC's J.D. Maiava is number 3 on that list, so it's obvious that he's pretty talented. Who knows, he might end up playing this year as well, so we'll see. And apparently USC has their own little streak of being ranked in the preseason top 25 within the past 5 seasons, which is pretty cool, even though that goes back to the Helton era when they were supposedly pretty bad. So that's at least a positive thing. Hopefully that will still continue while Lincoln Riley is here and when he is gone. Then also there was a women's soccer game, their opener. They did tie 2-2 to New Mexico State, which is a good, I guess, but they were leading 2-0, so they gave up that lead. I guess it doesn't count as a full loss. You still get a point when it comes to soccer standings and all that stuff, so I guess that's the only positive thing. And it looks like there is no title requirements for the college football playoff anymore. It was kind of decided that if you won your side of the conference, then you would automatically get one of those top 4 billings when it comes to the rankings in the college football playoff and the 12 teams. And those first 4 teams are pretty important because you get a bye week in that first week. But now it looks like it doesn't matter, even if you win, because sometimes there could be a side where a team wins and they're not as good as like strength-wise, record, and all that stuff when it comes to those other schools that are ranked around them. So those teams might actually get pushed up over those conference winners, and those conference winners will still have to play that first week. So it'll be pretty crazy, but at least it makes sense. It's not still trying to help out Notre Dame as of this second, but they still mention Notre Dame as accepting to these new rules or some whatever BS. So, like I said, if they're trying to help out Notre Dame to get them in, then it's going to suck. But at least USC has a chance now to face them twice, so that'd be pretty cool to beat them twice in the same year. And as if you couldn't tell, this is pretty much a USC update video. So I wanted to do finally the USC Trojans that were able to win a couple of the Olympics out there. I know I mentioned some of the USA ones already, but trying to get them all fully one together at the end of this video. So hopefully we finally updated, y'all enjoy it. So a little bit of news when it comes to some of the USC Olympics. It looks like they're the only university with a gold medal winning athlete since 1912, which is pretty awesome. Nice streak to have. So yeah, it's tough for any school obviously to do, but USC doing it, that's pretty awesome. And then I believe during this last Olympics they're able to win 15 gold medals, which is nice. So that gold streak was able to continue, which is pretty cool to see. So yeah, definitely very happy and excited for all those USC Trojans. And then also when it comes to the most medals for one like sport, I believe it was track and field had the most medals with 9, which is pretty awesome. And then they were also tied all together in third place with 15 with other colleges that sent players out there. I think, yeah, they were placed 4th on that list, just above Texas, even though they had tied Texas. But to be above Texas in anything, even though you're still tied, is pretty good to me, in my opinion. So yeah, they did pretty good when it comes to their athletes coming out of USC. So that's pretty cool. I want to get into some of the winners. I think this pretty much went in the order that they wanted in Paris. So when it comes to that first one, yes, it was Nicole Yergin in the track and field. She won bronze for Great Britain. Anna Cockrell in track and field won silver for Team USA. Micah Christensen for men's volleyball won bronze for Team USA. TT Terry, track and field, won gold for Team USA. Aaron Brown and Andre DeGrasse, track and field, won gold for Canada. Rai Benjamin, track and field, won gold for Team USA. Annie Espar for women's water polo, won gold with Spain. Tilly Kearns for women's water polo, won silver for Australia. Croy Bethune, I believe that's how you say her first name, for women's soccer. I don't even know why I put women's soccer. Obviously, the men sucked this last Olympics. They won gold for Team USA. Rai Benjamin, once again on here for track and field, won gold for Team USA. And Nicole Yergin on here once again, which is pretty cool. And Yemi John for track and field, won bronze for Great Britain. And then Hannes Daub and Marco Basic won men's water polo bronze for Team USA. So, yeah, athletes at USC, it's possible to still represent Team USA even though you're obviously not born here. But either way, congrats to all of them. Definitely very excited for all those athletes from USC. And then, yeah, obviously the Olympics next Summer Olympics, is going to be in LA, so I'm pretty sure the Coliseum will host certain things. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a track and field events, but we'll see how they navigate this LA terrain to, complement all those sports and all that stuff. Because when it came to France, it was like sometimes they were down in another country for like the surfing and all that stuff. And yeah, I think even Peru won a bronze medal. I don't know if it was for surfing, but they won at least one medal, which is pretty cool for that other part of my ethnicity. So congrats to them. Mexico did pretty good. They won like 12 or something, I think, something like that, right in the teens or around there. So congrats to them. But yeah, either way, enjoyed the Olympics. I definitely go in phases of watching the Olympics. Sometimes I care about it. Sometimes I really don't. Maybe it's just more of the certain more known athletes that I know from all those competitions that I thought maybe I might check it out a bit more, because it only comes for like basically a little over 2 weeks and then it's pretty much done and over. At least I think the Winter Olympics are every 2 years, so that might happen in 2 years. But yeah, other than that, we'll see. Don't really do any Olympic sports myself. But yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.